What if your daughter, your sister, or your best friend was silently crying out for help and no one noticed? When was the last time you looked at someone on the street, on your feed, or even in your own circle and questioned if they were truly free? The truth is, human and sex trafficking is closer than most of us realize. Stay tuned for today's powerful episode, Not for Sale, What You Need to Know About Human and Sex Trafficking. It's time to open our eyes, start the conversation, and protect those who can't always speak for themselves.
Hey, I like to eat and I like to travel. But most of all, I love traveling to eat. Well, if you're hungry and you're on the road ready to eat, you're where traveling and food meet. Take you on a journey. Buckle up, you're in the front seat. Your road trip is so complete. Cause you're with the traveling hungry girl. You're with the who? Traveling hungry girl. Recipe, the food. Traveling hungry girl. Restaurant reviews. Traveling hungry girl. Where food meets travel. Right here with Traveling Hungry.
Hey. Welcome to Traveling Hungry Girl, the podcast where food, travel, and culture come together in the most flavorful way. I am Amani Sky, your host, and I am so excited you're here with me today. Let's begin today's journey by grounding ourselves in a calming affirmation. My journey is blessed and I carry light everywhere I travel. Today's episode, Not for Sale, What You Need to Know About Human and Sex Trafficking, is not just important, it's necessary. We're talking about something that's often hidden in plain sight, human and sex trafficking. Now, I know this topic can feel heavy, but it's real and it's happening far closer than many of us realize. This isn't just a third world issue or something that only happens to other people. It's happening in our cities, our schools, on social media, and sometimes even within our own communities. This episode is for the mamas, the daughters, the travelers, the everyday women and men who just want to live freely and safely. I'm breaking it down how traffickers operate, what red flags to look for, and most importantly, how to protect yourself and the people you love. So whether you're tuning in while driving, walking, or just taking a moment for yourself, I want you to really listen in. This is the type of knowledge that could save a life. Understanding the basics. Before we can truly take action or become advocates, we must first understand the harsh reality of what we're facing. Too often, human and sex trafficking are dismissed as distant issues, problems that exist in other countries or only affect certain types of people. But the truth is far more personal, far more local, and far more common than most of us realize. Let's break it down. Human trafficking is the illegal trade of people for exploitation or commercial gain. It often involves force, fraud, or manipulation to obtain some type of labor or sex act. Sex trafficking is a form of human trafficking, but it involves individuals being forced or manipulated into prostitution or other forms of sexual exploitation. Let's clear up some common myths. Myth number 1, it only happens overseas. The truth, trafficking is happening in our own neighborhoods, cities, and communities, often in plain sight. Myth number 2, it only happens to women. Truth, while women and girls are predominantly affected, men and boys are also victims of trafficking, particularly in forced labor and certain forms of exploitation. Myth number 3, victims are always kidnapped and held against their will. Truth, many victims are manipulated through emotional abuse, threats, or economic desperation, not always physical restraint. Before we can get into the how, I want to hit you with some hard truths. Numbers that are not just numbers, but lives. When I say lives, I mean people. Human trafficking is a $150 billion industry worldwide. That's more than the combined profits of Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft. This is a big business for criminals. There are over 27 million people currently being trafficked globally. That's more than the entire population of Australia. 1 in 4 victims of trafficking are children. Let that sink in. Babies, teens, kids. In the US alone, an estimated 100,000 children are trafficked every year. The average age a child enters sex trafficking in the US is 12 to 14 years old. That's middle school age. Social media is the #1 tool traffickers use to recruit victims today. Yes, right through apps like Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat. The most chilling part, many victims don't even realize they're being trafficked until it's too late. It can start with someone pretending to love you, offering you a job, or just helping you out. That's why awareness is everything. Understanding these truths helps us become more aware, more alert, and more compassionate. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's dive deeper into the different forms of trafficking and how to recognize them. Red flags and tactics used by traffickers. Once we understand what human and sex trafficking really are, the next step is knowing how traffickers operate. These crimes rarely begin with a dramatic kidnapping scenes like we see in the movies. More often, they start with a lie, a promise, or a carefully calculated form of manipulation. Traffickers are skilled at identifying vulnerability. They look for individuals who are in need, emotionally, financially, or socially, and they exploit those needs to gain control. Traffickers use a wide range of methods to lure people in, and they often tailor their approach depending on the person and the situation. Here are some of the most common tactics. False promises and deceptive offers like fake job opportunities, modeling gigs, nanny jobs, or too good to be true offers that require travel or personal information. Romance scams. Traffickers build relationship over time, gaining trust before isolating and exploiting their victims. Recruitment from friends or family. Sometimes it's not a stranger. It's someone you know who's being used to recruit others. Then you have the digital lures and online grooming, social media DMs. Predators often slide into inboxes pretending to be a potential love interest, employer, or influencer. Gaming platforms and apps. Children and teens are especially vulnerable at grooming in online games where traffickers build fake friendship over time. Requests for inappropriate photos. What may seem like flirting or fun can quickly escalate into blackmail or control. If someone you've never met in person is suddenly offering you money, love, or opportunity, be cautious. You also have situational red flags, being followed or watching public spaces like malls, airports, or events. Strangers asking personal questions like whether you're alone, where you live, or if you have a ride. Being approached by someone offering instant help or friendship, especially if they insist on privacy or secrecy. Having a companion who controls your movements or won't let you out of their sight. These signs don't always mean trafficking is taking place, but they should raise your awareness. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. As we continue, we'll go deeper into how to recognize these tactics in action and what steps you can take to protect yourselves and others. Empowerment begins with awareness, and with a few proactive habits, you can reduce your risk and stay safe both online and offline. You don't have to live in fear, but you do need to live prepared. Online safety, protecting your digital presence. Traffickers often use the internet, especially social media and gaming platforms, to groom and manipulate potential victims. Here's how to safeguard your online space. Set your social media accounts to private, especially for your children. Only allow people you personally know to follow or message you. Avoid posting your location in real time. Wait until after you've left the place to share check-ins or photos. This limits the risk of someone tracking your movements. Be mindful of your emotional state when online. Traffickers often target people who seem lonely, upset, or vulnerable. Don't engage with strangers during those moments. Never share personal details or photos with someone you haven't met in person. Even innocent conversations can turn into manipulative traps. Remember, a friendly DM doesn't always mean good intentions. In-person awareness. Street smarts save lives. Everyday routines like going to school, shopping, or hanging out can come with unexpected risk. Trusting your instinct is key. If it feels off, it probably is. That gut feeling is your internal warning system listen to it. Avoid going places alone with someone you just met, even if they seem charming or trustworthy. Share your location or itinerary with a trusted friend or family member when going somewhere new or meeting someone for the first time. Be aware of your surroundings. If someone is watching, following, or approaching you aggressively, seek help immediately or move to a crowded public area. Whether you're going across the city or across the world, traveling smart can make all the difference. Stay in secured, well-reviewed places. Use travel platforms and avoid accommodations that seem too cheap or lack reviews. Carry a whistle or a personal alarm. These small tools can draw immediate attention if you're in danger. Learn a few emergency phrases in the local language. Phrases like help, call the police, or I need assistance can be life-saving if you're traveling abroad. Self-defense tools and safety apps. Be your own backup. Equip yourself with simple tools that give you peace of mind and practical protection, like pepper spray, which can buy you precious time in a dangerous situation. Consider taking a basic self-defense class, not just for physical moves, but for mental preparedness. Safety keychains often combine alarms, glass breakers, and flashlight tools in one easy-to-carry kit. Download safety apps like Noon Light, which sends your location to emergency services at the push of a button, and be safe. Lets friends and family virtually walk you home and receive alerts if something is wrong. These small steps can empower you to move through life with confidence, not fear. And if something ever goes wrong, you already know what to do and who to call. Helping others and spreading awareness. Sometimes we're not the ones in danger, someone else is. Being aware of what to look for and how to respond could make you the reason someone gets a second chance at freedom. Even if you're unsure, it's better to speak up than stay silent. What to do if you suspect someone is being trafficked? If something doesn't sit right, don't ignore it. Here are the steps to take if you think someone may be a trafficking victim. 1. Stay observant. Pay attention to behavior, body language, and interactions. Don't just rely on your assumptions. 2. Do not confront the trafficker or victim directly. This could put them and you in more danger. 3. Document what you observe. Note physical descriptions, locations, times, license plates, and anything suspicious. 4. Contact professionals. You can report tips anonymously and let trained advocates handle the next step. Some resources you can contact is the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Or you can text Be Free to 233-733. You can also go on their website at humantraffickinghotline.org. They are available 24/7, it's confidential, and it's in over 200 languages. Recognizing the signs in others. Trafficking victims don't always look like victims. Many appear normal, but display indicators of control, fear, or distress. Here are some red flags. Scripted or rehearsed speech, like they're repeating lines. No control over their ID or documents. Unusually anxious, submissive, or fearful, especially around a particular person. Limited freedom of movement. They can't speak for themselves or go anywhere alone. Inconsistent stories or an inability to explain where they are or how they got there. Overly controlling companions. Someone who answers questions for them or doesn't let them out of sight. Spreading awareness in everyday life. You don't need a big platform to make a big difference. Here are a few easy, powerful ways you can educate others and build awareness in your circle. Use your voice on social media. Share educational posts, hotline information, and survivor stories to increase awareness. Educate your school, church, or workplace. Host a talk, share a flyer, or invite a survivor speaker. Have real conversations. Talk to your friends and family, especially teens and parents, about online safety and red flags. Support survivor-led organizations. You can donate, volunteer, or share their work. Awareness is the beginning of prevention, and prevention can be the beginning of freedom. You don't have to be a hero to help. You just have to care enough to notice and be brave enough to act. One voice, one call, one moment of courage could be someone else's rescue. There are other helpful resources out there. You have Love 146. You can go on their website at www.love146.org, and they focus on preventing child trafficking and supporting survivors. You have Thorn, www.thorn.org. They work to protect children from online exploitation. And you also have missingkids.org, which is the National Center for Missing and Exploiting Children, which their website is www.missingkids.org. Knowledge is protection. By understanding how trafficking works, recognizing the red flags, and knowing where to turn for help, you're already one step closer to protecting yourself and others. That's all the tips I have for today. Let's do a quick recap. Trafficking is real, and it's happening everywhere, not just overseas. It affects people of all genders, ages, and backgrounds. Traffickers use manipulation, false promises, romance, social media, and even friends to lure victims in. Know the red flags. Being controlled by someone, acting fearful, having no ID, or showing signs of being followed or monitored. Online safety matters. Set profiles to private, avoid sharing your location in real time, and don't engage with strangers when you're feeling vulnerable. Protect yourself with travel tips, self-defense tools, safety apps, and strong boundaries, online and offline. Help others by knowing the signs, reporting suspicious behavior, and sharing awareness. You could save a life. Use the National Human Trafficking Hotline 1-888-373-7888 if you ever need to report something or seek help. It is confidential and is 24/7. You have a right to feel safe. You deserve to live free. Free from fear, free from control, free to walk in your purpose without looking over your shoulder or second-guessing your instincts. The more we learn, the more we see, not just for ourselves, but for those around us. Whether you're a parent, a friend, a sister, a brother, or just someone trying to make it through the day, you have more power than you think. Your awareness could be the lifeline someone else needs. So here's what I want you to do next. Check your safety settings. Go through your social media apps, turn on privacy control, and be mindful of what you're sharing. Start a conversation. Talk to your kids, your siblings, your nieces and nephews, or your friends. Not in fear, but in love. Let them know they can come to you no matter what. Share this episode or message with someone you care about. It could open up a dialogue. It could protect someone before danger ever reaches them. Before we wrap up, I encourage you to take a few minutes after this episode to Google the names of these powerful Black women survivors: Brenda Myers Powell, Sheila White, Alexis Skye, and Crystal Kaiser. Their stories are real, raw, and incredibly inspiring. They're not just survivors, they're advocates, educators, and change makers. Let their journeys remind you that healing is possible, awareness is power, and your voice matters. And as always, if you found this episode valuable, share it with someone you love. You are not for sale. You are not a secret. You are not a number. You are somebody's somebody, and your life is worth protecting. And remember this: you are not powerless. Just by listening, learning, and being open to this topic, you're already taking the first step in becoming a protector, an advocate, and a safe space for others. Awareness is the spark. Action is the flame. Together, we can light the way to freedom. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. And thank you for choosing to be part of the change. Thank you for spending time with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with a friend, and let's connect on Instagram and TikTok at Traveling Hungry Girl. Also, don't forget to subscribe and show some love to my show. Your support helps this podcast reach even more foodies, travelers, and cultural lovers just like you. And remember, great food and travel stories are always better when shared. Tune in for new episodes every Monday and Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, keep exploring, keep eating, and keep living your best life. Bye.